down the hottest month of the year, which is July. And so all of us are indoors, as you can kind of tell. We're working from home, we're in our offices, we're trying to figure out what to do because it's a scorcher out there. Jeff, it's so good to see you again.
Nice to see you. And yeah, it's between the heat and the World Cup. There's a lot going on. And oh yeah, there was a 250th birthday the other day. Yes, that too.
Yes,
And,
yes. We
you
are
know,
sure lucky to experience this, guys, not only as a nation, but as friends, as colleagues, as we continue. That's why I love technology, Jeff, because it's the one thing that we all can come together on when we're in pursuits of this. But more importantly, a lot of people don't realize that vCon has now been established as a superpower for voice AI. You just hopped off a call that literally, again, emphasizes with vendors who are trying to navigate and figure this out.
yeah, no, I think it's true. I mean, so last week, by the way, in the world of vcons and in we'll call it compliance, skit became
Hmm.
RFC, which is a big thing. It was a year. I mean, the solar winds hack was in 2010, so this is a long
Hmm.
time in the making. And very happy and congratulations to everyone at the working group at the ITF on skit. RFC, I think it's 9943 is happened, and that's a major milestone for people focused on compliance, people who want to figure out how to be compliant. And in the history of the ITF, it's the very first. A 9943 is the very first protocol built on. We'll just call it a ledger technology on a block. No one says blockchain. It's like no one says.
Yeah, don't say blockchain. We might get flagged here.
But having an immutable trust for the ability to sign that a conversation took place is a big thing. And we've been very fortunate at the vCon conference at Voice and Conversations on the Net to have folks from both the skit side and the jailing side come and talk about compliance and dealing with provenance and understanding consent and redaction and the ability to give consent and remove consent. That's a big thing. And when you start talking to companies that are now discovering voice AI or building startups to help other people build AI agents, what's a big issue? Well, it's compliance.
It
It's
is.
like how do we build these things so that the agents don't run wild? So on one side of it, you want a guardrail to make sure that you're not spamming, spoofing, enabling bad actors. Another part of it is if you're building agents for a particular industry or a particular country where there are rules and regulations, you want to be able to be as compliant as possible. So for me, enabling vCons as a core feature inside of an AI agent is a superpower worth having. But there's a lot of no competition. It's just not enough awareness. So when I start talking about vCons to startups, it's like, what? What are you talking about? And when I start saying, but you can now offer your customers the ability to have conversational assets that ultimately will help create and help them discern conversational intelligence by connecting all those dots. That's a big thing. So for me, vCon is that superpower. If you're in the summer season, thinking about, I don't know, superhero movies and stuff. Well, vCon is the superhero. It's that amazing boost of something special that will take a bland AI agent and make it super powerful. It helps you, yes, traverse tall buildings in a single bound. Well, certainly helps you be compliant. And for anyone who's using your products, it helps you differentiate from others that don't offer it. Because in the end, a few years from now, maybe even maybe it's tomorrow, maybe it's 6 months, there's going to be a need, a desire, a checklist that says, okay, is this vCon compliant? Can we, at our option, enable the ability to take these conversations and turn them into assets, and offer compliance around that? And frankly, just having the asset and using a virtualized conversation as an asset is a big thing. Not everyone cares about compliance. These people roll their eyes, they don't care. But if you're in an industry which is being regulated, you care a lot, and
Yes.
you're engaged in that. And so having a framework where the software that you develop or the software that you deploy has the ability to be compliant thanks to you using vCons, it's a big thing. So I mentioned Skit a few moments ago, RFC 9943. Skit was not created to provide compliance for vCons. vCons did not exist when Skit started. In fact, telecom is not a target market necessarily for Skit at all. But I'll give a shout out to Alistair Whitman, who first saw the opportunity to take peanut butter and chocolate at the ITF, if you will, the vCons and the Skid folks, and mash them together. And all of a sudden, something magical became possible, something that did not exist. And so, yeah, enjoy the peanut butter, enjoy the chocolate on its own, but bring them together, that's a superpower. So if vCons are a superpower to your AI agents, adding the ability of that compliance layer makes your product even more worth selling, more worth buying, and creates the ability to have future forward ideas managed. And in the end, it's much easier to be proactive than reactive. And so we're talking about conversations of the future of being able to be saved, connected, and managed properly. And so that's a superpower. So if you're thinking about what your product plans are, if you're a product manager, if you're an enterprise and you're realizing, gee, vCons are powerful. I mean, by the way, and I have a post coming out about in about a couple hours from now, because one of the things that I played with recently is I enabled Gmail to go into, I have two Gmail accounts, one for my business account and one for my personal account. And I use ChatGPT and Claude, and each is connected to my vCon, my emails are now connected to each LLM. And if you want to get a sense for how powerful vCons will be in business, do that exercise yourself. Take your LLM, connect it. I know that they're connectors for Claude and ChatGPT because I use them. And then start asking yourself the hard questions, like look at my inbox and sent mails for the last 2 weeks. Tell me what signal who did I forget to follow up on? Who wrote something as a follow-up where I missed? What's going on in my life that I should just remember? And this is just the tip of the iceberg of what it means to vCon your life, or in this case, vConify your conversations and be able to have a history of not only just that email from yesterday or from the past month, but connect it back 20 years or 5 years or 7 years and connect that to any messages that took place or conversations that took place. You'll start to understand that what you can now do as an experiment for yourself to feel the power is connect your LLM to your Gmail, try it out, ask a few questions, and then you'll start realizing that you're not going to you will stop using the LLMs as a search engine. And you start asking questions that are deeper, that now you have this so-called total recall, at least sort of, what can you do with it? And gaining those insights changed my entire perspective on how powerful vCons will be and are once they're implemented in an enterprise. I think we've been underselling it. So you may see me being hypish about it. No. Compared to the superpower that it truly represents, it's a life-changing event. The advent and deployment of vCons will bring to the surface true unified communications. It's going to redefine the topic, because what we're really getting to is enabling conversational intelligence, the ability to extract knowledge from conversations that took place, are taking place, and will take place.
Yes.
Right now, no, Gmail is not using vCons. It's not converting your, ChatGPT and Claude are not vConifying or vConning your email. But you have so Eugene. Hey, Eugene. So take it a step further.
Eugene.
Yeah, voice communication across the internet. If you wipe at Carmel and you have, okay, take the Carmel. Why not? But the point about all this is is that you connect those dots. I've been doing this for 2 weeks now. It's changed how I work. It's actually changed my workflows, and it's allowing me to be proactive and not reactive. And I am able to, I actually surfaced some business opportunities I missed. And this is simply by doing this thought experiment of connecting my LLM to my email. And, there's no others. I'm not using a conserver. I'm not converting my vCons yet, but I do think the lowest hanging fruit for people entering this ecosystem is to vCon your email. It's something I played with a couple of years ago and forgot about it. And when I saw the available connectors on ChatGPT and Claude, it just changed my mind. It changed how I think. It changed how I approach things. And so now I'm maybe even more dependent on the LLMs than I was yesterday. But on the other hand, I have everyone who's listening to this, everyone who is a paid customer, may be available for free. I don't know. But I do know on the paid side, the connectors are available. If you want to experience the future today, at least a taste of it, connect your Gmail to the LLM, at least those two, and see for yourself what I'm talking about. And that is just the essence, the slight essence of what it would be like to be living inside of a vCon world.
Well, they're already doing it, Jeff. I recently had dental surgery, and it was funny because the dentist said, "Can I record our conversation about what I'm going to be assessing?" And I said, "Well, do you have a compliance around that?" And he kind of looked at me and he was like, "What are you talking about? I follow HIPAA." And I said, "No, that's not what I'm talking about. I'm voice recording for you so that your LM can dictate my conversation into notes." And he just looked at me with this haze look going, "Oh no, did I miss something?" I said, "No, it's not necessarily regulated yet, but you should probably consider that because it is a part of compliance that you're dealing with my data." And of
Yeah.
course, that was the shocker. And then Jeff, I went to a follow-up doctor appointment and same thing for his soap notes. And I said, "So I'm helping you so you don't have to take soap notes for 2 hours by me voice texting into your device so that it can be put into my folder so that our conversation is there." And I said, "There's no regulation today, but doctor, you don't have my consent." And he just looked at me kind of like, "Why? Well, why not?" I said, "Well, it's not here yet, but it soon will be." So Jeff, in practicality, we already are, guys, giving voice data, whether it's a YouTube video, whether it's you and I having a conversation, whether we're doing this live today. I mean, our voice data is out there. And so, Jeff, that's such a fantastic way to start. If you don't know enough about vCon, don't worry. We're here to just tell you, start with putting those two together with your Gmail or whatever email server you use to kind of see when you're dictating what it looks like. I love that, Jeff. That's fantastic. Just an easy way for them to experience it.
It's a taste, it's sort of the essence of, it's not the real thing. The real thing is going to be a deployment where you're connecting the dots, bringing together all your conversations, going back in time with a history, adding, in fact, any other artifacts you have. So if you have transcripts from conversations you were part of with certain people, text messages, and bring in all your messaging systems all under one roof, that's magical.
Right.
So anyway, so that's the takeaway. So vCon is a superpower for voice AI. Check it out if you're a developer. Just go to the ITF site, check out the vconfoundation.com. You can certainly go to conserver.io, check out the GitHub that Thomas manages. But really, it's there. And if you just want to sample it, if you happen to be a paid customer of ChatGPT and Claude, and we get no commission for promoting those LLMs, just saying. But if you happen to use Gmail and you happen to use one of those LLMs, now, yes, I do know that Copilot has stuff integrated and Gemini has it integrated so that you have semantic search on your corporate email. Yes, if you're blessed to work for a company that has it, well, okay, But if you're not working for a company that has Copilot integrated with your emails going back in time or Gemini go back in time, and we're talking about just the Gmail side for the simpler side, check it out. And then maybe you could join the vCon bandwagon with us. And in fact, speaking of which, just to give a quick shout out to, we're building a really great program for Von Evolution, produced by Von Evolution. It's our full event of voice and conversations on the net. It's going to be in Sandy Springs in the Atlanta area, October 13th to the 15th. If you go to vonevolution.com, you can see the latest snapshot of the website. We've just started adding some of our speakers. If you're operating in the voice space, the voice AI space, this is a place you want to come to, you want to be at. There's still some speaking opportunities, so you could feel free to pitch what you want to talk about. Just know that I'm not taking pitches of your product or your platform. I want to know what this means to you. And I'm looking for your voice to come through, and I'm currently actively curating content for that event. And that's right, it's Fall 26 Voice and Conversations on the Net. And yes, it is the AI Communication Industry Conference, and hosted by me.
Yes, of course. And we love Lauren. Lauren, a big shout out to you as you continue to make this event possible. You'll be hearing from her as well when you connect and talk. But Jeff, as we wrap up, I think a lot of people want to know where to start. And this is usually, guys, where the best place to start is by other people. And that's what's so fantastic about this upcoming event that's being curated by Jeff, where it's every stage of vCon, AI, this conversation component, how to put it into practice, how to even use it for yourself. This is where those great minds come together. And Jeff, I've seen it firsthand where a lot of people come in a little hesitant and saying, "Oh, where do I start?" the community welcomes you to be
Yeah,
wherever you are.
absolutely. We start where we are. You start where you're at, and so October 13th is going to be all about knowledge transfer. We're going to be the vCon Foundation is hosting a day of training. We're going to be teaching vCons to those who want to learn. By the way, it's a perk to members of the vCon Foundation. If you're a member of the vCon Foundation, you get to attend for free. I mean, they say nothing in life is free. Well, you had to pay for membership, but if you are a member of the vCon Foundation, the training day, October 13th, is free. And if you're a corporate member, I believe it's 5 passes you get for free. And then there's a discount for more. That's October 13th. And certainly, it's actually, if you join the vCon Foundation as an individual, it's cheaper than paying for the ticket for the day. But that's a technical thing. But anyway, the first day is all about training. And I'm looking at hosting in the afternoon a little mini vCon summit for everyone in the industry to give updates as far as what they're working on and where they're seeing traction. And so we can help grow this industry, because we're still at the early stages where, yes, in the room with their competitors, but together we're the community, and we're here to help each other, to help grow. Ultimately, I'm looking for next spring to host another interop event to demonstrate true interoperability between different implementations using vCons, and knowing that right now we're focusing on operability, and then we'll go for interoperability. And so it's going to happen, though. So October 13th is all about the vCon. And then the next 2 days, October 14th and 15th, is a wider angle lens looking globally at the ecosystem where voice and conversations on the net have gotten to and what's going on. And there we're going to be hearing from people working in the voice AI space, some OGs and newbies coming together from the telecom side, from the communication side, and some surprises yet to be announced. But this will be a global gathering of folks, and I'm super looking forward to that. So that's going to be happening in October, and I don't have the date yet. But by the way, it's either going to be last week of July, first week of August. I'm going to host a virtual. We are, because Charlene have to clear the date with you too. We'll do a virtual roadshow for all our international friends, because I've gotten some emails like, when am I coming to London? When are we going to be in Paris? When are we going to be in Bogota? And it's like, well, I wasn't planning on going to any of those places. And while we have friends in those cities to host meetups or roadshow events, it's like, you know what? Let's go global. We have this technology, so we're going to do a virtual road. We're going to do a virtual road trip within a month or so to invite everyone to learn about what's happening in the world of vCons. I want to have some members of the vCon Foundation present their products as a way to showcase what we're working on, and to hopefully help grow our audience. I'm very proud and excited with the members we have, and looking forward to the new companies that will be joining us.
Definitely. So again, guys, when you're thinking about it, I want you to reach out to Jeff. I want you to have that conversation. But more importantly, part of this conversation is having a community around you. So just know that there's other people just like you and I that want to have these conversations together. And so these roadshows, these events, these Zoominars, I don't know what you call it, Zoominars. I always think Jeff every day creates a new word. It's so insightful, because you got to start somewhere. So don't worry about where you're not. Worry where you are and start from there. Right, Jeff?
Absolutely. Start where you are. Hey, whether you're starting to going to the gym for the very first day and you're worried about where you're at, start where you are. If you're coming into the world of vCons, just start where you are, and we grow. And with that, I look forward to catching up with you again soon. And let's see how many people we can get to add vCons as their superpower for their voice AI agents. It's going to happen.
Thanks so much, Jeff. Appreciate it.